Have you ever wondered who really writes our laws? While we elect politicians to represent us, there's another group of powerful players working behind the scenes in Washington, D.C., and their influence is immense. They are lobbyists. And today, we diving deep into their world to ask a critical question. Are they champions of change or a source of corruption? Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a lobbyist? In simple terms, a lobbyist is a professional advocate hired to represent the interests of a specific group, company, or cause. Their job is to communicate directly with lawmakers and government officials to influence legislation and policy. The term itself comes from the 17th century, when people would wait in the lobbies of government buildings to speak with legislators. Today, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, how does lobbying work? It's more than just a quick chat in a hallway. Lobbyists provide lawmakers with detailed information, research, and data to support their positions. For instance, a lobbyist for an environmental group might present a senator with scientific studies on the impact of pollution, urging them to support a clean air bill. On the other hand, a lobbyist for a tech company might explain the economic benefits of a new technology, trying to shape regulations in their favor. This is the champion of change side of the coin. Lobbyists can give a voice to important causes, from patient advocacy groups fighting for better healthcare access to nonprofits working to protect civil rights. They ensure that diverse perspectives are heard in the halls of power, providing valuable expertise that busy lawmakers might not have the time to research on their own. In this light, lobbying is a fundamental part of a functioning democracy, an exercise of the right to petition the government. But there's a darker side to this story, which brings us to the corruption in Congress argument. The biggest concern is the role of money in politics. Lobbying is often intertwined with campaign contributions. Large corporations and wealthy special interest groups can spend millions, even billions of dollars on lobbying and political donations. This creates a massive imbalance. A grassroots community organization simply can't compete with the financial firepower of a major pharmaceutical company or a big bank. Critics argue that this system creates a pay-to-play culture, where lawmakers are more likely to listen to the powerful interests that fund their campaigns rather than the needs of their average constituents. This can lead to laws that benefit a select few at the expense of the many, like tax loopholes for massive corporations or deregulation that harms the environment and public health. Think of it as a double-edged sword. On one side, lobbyists provide essential information and advocacy, ensuring that lawmakers are well informed about the complex issues they vote on. They can be genuine champions for change, pushing for progress on everything from medical research to social justice. A lobbyist for a group of small farmers might be the only reason a lawmaker understands the challenges facing rural communities. However, the other edge of that sword is sharp and dangerous. The immense financial power wielded by some lobbying groups can warp the legislative process, making it feel like our democracy is for sale to the highest bidder. When a single industry spends hundreds of millions to influence a bill, it's hard not to question whether the final law truly serves the public interest. Let's look at a real-world example. Consider healthcare. Patient advocacy groups lobby for laws that lower prescription drug costs and expand insurance coverage. Their lobbyists share powerful stories from patients and present data on the human cost of unaffordable care. This is advocacy at its best. At the same time, the pharmaceutical industry is one of the biggest spenders on lobbying in Washington. They employ an army of lobbyists to argue against price controls and for policies that protect their patents and profits. When a bill to lower drug prices is being debated, both sides are intensely lobbying. Who do you think has more resources? Who has more access? This conflict highlights the core tension of lobbying. So where does this leave us? Is lobbying inherently good or bad? The reality is, it's a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for construction or destruction. It can be used to build a more informed, responsive government, or it can be used to dismantle public protections for private gain. The challenge isn't necessarily to eliminate lobbying, which is a protected form of free speech, but to reform the system to level the playing field. Many reform proposals focus on limiting the influence of money. This includes stricter rules on campaign finance, banning former members of Congress from immediately becoming lobbyists, a practice known as the revolving door, and increasing transparency so the public knows exactly who is trying to influence our leaders and how much they were spending to do it. Ultimately, the power to ensure our government works for us rests in our hands. By staying informed about the issues, by demanding transparency from our elected officials, and by supporting campaign finance reform, we can help mitigate the corrupting influence of money in politics. We can push for a system where the strength of an argument matters more than the size of a bank account. Lobbyists will always be a part of our political landscape, but it's up to us to decide whether they act as champions for all of us or just for the powerful few. What are your thoughts on this? Do you see lobbyists as a necessary part of democracy or a corrupting force? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm really curious to hear your perspective on this complex issue. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the systems that shape our world. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, stay curious and stay engaged.